Hi everyone and welcome to Mediocre's Guide to an Artisan. Today we are pretty much going to be going through how to master Artisan in the most quick and efficient way, as well as just giving you the basics of how it is to be an Artisan. Just as a disclosure, I am not the most knowledgeable about Artisan. This guide is mainly for those who are just getting into it and want to know just the basics, as well as how to actually get from Novice Artisan to Master Artisan. This does not cover the advanced professions. If you want a more in-depth video, I would recommend going to watch Mobius1, who has made a video called So You Want to Be a Crafter, which I believe is a two-parter. So if you want to get a more in-depth guide, I would recommend going to see him. With that out of the way, I suppose the thing you probably know, where the hell do I start? Well, the place you're going to need to start is actually by getting a generic crafting tool. This tool will allow you to build pretty much everything you're going to need to build in the Novice Artisan grind, basically. And you'll also need to know surveying. We'll go over surveying first because it is the most simple and it's probably the best thing because you can pretty much do this AFK. Surveying is quite simple. All you have to do is go onto one of the tools that you've created or you've bought from the bazaar. There are many different things you can get. I would recommend a mineral survey tool, and once you've got it open, you can then have a look through all the different kind of resources that are in the area, and every time you click on it, it will basically survey the area. You will then see percentages across a grid. Basically, all you'll need to do is walk to the place with a higher percentage. Once you've reached the place with a higher percentage, survey again and keep doing this until you get to roughly about 80+%. The percentage is the chance that you're going to have when gathering the resources, and because it goes on to an automatic timer, so basically once you've clicked the sample button, which is in the bottom left I believe, you will automatically sample that resource indefinitely. Pretty much the reason I've done this first is because you can pretty much find the resource you need and then leave and come back after a few hours, and you should have got a few levels in surveying. So now that you've gathered a few resources, let's actually go through what the resources actually do and what you need to know about them. So first off, there are many different types. You can get minerals, get metals, chemicals, and all of these things will be described in items requirements. So they might need 4 units of metal and 4 units of chemicals, for example. Then all you need to do is gather the resources either by surveying, or you can go into the bazaar and have a look through the bazaar menu for the right resources that you need. Minerals are also metals, so if it comes up that it needs minerals and metals, then you know that they're the same thing. Along with that, each resource has different sort of effectiveness. I won't go too much in depth because this is mainly a novice guide. This is mainly to get to Master Artisan and ready for your advanced profession. But pretty much each resource has a type of effectiveness and has different resistances and all this type of stuff, which all help to create a quality item. So trying to get the best resources can be expensive, time consuming, but will produce the best products. But for starting out, you should pretty much try and get the cheapest just to level yourself up. So now that you're actually into a generic crafting tool menu, what the hell do you build and what will actually get you to the general experience fastest? My recommendation is getting a survey tool, which is metal. That way you'll only need one resource and you can pretty much find a deposit of metal and just pretty much get the resources in your inventory. Once they're in your inventory, you can start pumping out the survey tools. And like I said, I recommend going on with a metal base with it. And just keep making them. And once you've made a lot and you've got to, I think it's engineering 3, you'll be able to make wind power generators. This will require more resources, which will be shown in the menu, and pretty much then you'll be trying to use them because then they'll give you 400 and something XP. I can't remember off the top of my head, and with a macro you'll pretty much glide through Novice Artisan so quickly. So now macros. I've got a macro that I use for creating tools, which is pretty much streamlines the process. So all I will have to do is click the macro, wait, double click all the resources in the left screen so everything is folded up in the middle. It will then create the item, and repeat the process for 6 of my generic crafting tools. I'll quickly put up the macro on the screen now, and with that macro, the XX will be needed to replace with your numbers. So for the UI action, what you have to click here is where your generic crafting tools are in your hotbar. So for instance, mine are on the bottom, so they're in like the 19s and 18s. But the confusing thing is, the first box in your like hotbar is actually 00, not 01. So just pretty much count up from 00 upwards, and then wherever you place your generic crafting tools, put them in that number. Next is a select. This will actually select the schematic. So what to find out the schematic number, you unfortunately have to do it manually by opening up a generic crafting tool. So once it's open, you can then hit /select and then put a number, and basically replace that number until you get the schematic that you need. So now that we've gone through the macro, we're now actually going to go through each of these skills inside the artisan tree. So the first is engineering. Engineering is pretty much going to allow you to get to most of the major professions. So stuff like weaponsmith, droid engineer, armorsmith, architect will need to go through this. This will require general crafting experience and can be gained easily via the crafting or the survey tool grind. Obviously, once you get to engineer 3, you can unlock the wind power generator and then quickly gain business, domestic arts, and the 4th level of engineering. So domestic arts is mainly for people that want to become a chef or a tailor. Again, this uses general crafting experience, and I recommend not putting any points into this until you have got to engineering 3 and unlock the wind power generator. Thirdly is business, and again I believe this uses general crafting experience, and this will allow people to pretty much set up their own vendors and markets. So if you want to go merchant, I recommend getting this if you want to sell your wares. It's or I'd recommend sometimes getting an alt for merchant, depending on what kind of build you're going for. Lastly, surveying. This grind is pretty much going to be done AFK, like I said before, and actually requires it has its own experience, which is the survey experience. There is no advanced class for this. This just allows you to get more effective and quicker results when surveying, and this mainly will need to be done if you're while you level up another alt. So that is it for my novice artisan guide. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. I'll also put the macro again in my description just in case you're not sure what it is. And please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.